Dear Diary, I'm at a crossroads and I don't know where to turn to. I feel a strange combination of loneliness, emptiness from being alone, the thrill of starting anew and the countless adventures I'm yet to experience, and being lost in life, not knowing which path I'm destined to follow. The fear of the unknown and the excitement of everything being wide open, of having the world at my fingertips and wanting to walk on several different paths all at once. It's overwhelming, and it's led me to thinking of things I've wanted to do for a while, a bucket list of things I've missed out on. I call it my bucket list of things I want to do. Such a creative title, I know. And there is little time to do them all because the list is so long. When I look at this list though, I see little me, full of energy, wandering around the city, ticking these milestones off as she achieves them one by one. These milestones could be as small as joining a dance class, or a self-defense course, or a drawing weekend, or a book club. It doesn't matter. For her, they're milestones because as she marks them off one by one, it's a step to discovering who she really is. It's a step to challenging herself and exploring outside of her bubble. And as she takes one scary step after the other, her self-worth will grow and one day she will bloom. It doesn't matter that she's way past her childhood now. What matters is she's here. I grew a lot from challenging myself in these 7 years. And while it's always easier said than actually getting up and doing whatever it is that's a challenge, I'm proud of myself for facing it, diary, for being someone who I can say didn't shy away from the uncomfortability, and I still don't. I often go to Google to get ideas of what I can do to challenge myself. And it's so frustrating that unless you have an idea of what you want to do to tiptoe out of that safe space and do specific word searches, which I don't know, will it even help? The internet is filled with general and unspecific advice. Sure, everyone is different, and to cater for the masses, specificity is probably difficult when it is lacking in the first place. Is it unjust to put people in boxes when it comes to improving oneself? How general does general advice need to be before it becomes unhelpful? All the searches I've done, I see the results being the general: start journaling, exercising, eating healthy, self-love and care, wake up early. And those ideas don't work for me, at least not in the format it's been presented. It's too vague, too flimsy, too wishy-washy. Kind of like how affirmations are. They only work if they're relevant to you. There are two challenges, and I would call them obstacles as well, of leaving the comfort of your solitude and willingly stepping out into the unknown. These two challenges are from what I've experienced. Number one is starting. Just starting. How do I start X when I'm Y inclined? My easiest example is, how do I begin to exercise or just transition into a more active lifestyle if I'm naturally inclined to be a couch potato? How do I start eating healthier? Having healthier eating habits when my sugar addiction is so much, too much for me to control. What's worked for me is not going to the gym, but tapping into my inner child. I've always wanted to learn to swim well enough so that I can confidently go scuba diving or snorkel in open water, for example. And I finally made it a priority to enroll for swimming lessons and kept going for fitness because I enjoyed it. And I've always wanted to take dance classes, but my two left feet and lack of rhythm have always scared me away, too intimidated to enroll into a dance class that I need to commit to. But I've always enjoyed Zumba and online dance routines I've tried and failed to follow. And now, on Monday, I'm going to my very first beginner's hip-hop class for a trial. Just the thought of that makes me nervous, and I can't imagine myself hip-hopping to the beat. It's been said and done to go to the gym and change your life, but the focus should really be to be more active, whatever that looks like for you. And for those who just aren't inclined to step foot out of their comfort zone, don't think of it as stepping out of your comfort zone. This is what I'll ask you. What have you wanted to try to do in your life that you never gotten a chance to try or fulfill? And start with that, because that drive and excitement your inner child will have, that excitement to do something you've always wanted to do, that will fuel you to go to that trial session or go to that class and at least give it a go. That's the digestible baby step that worked for me in terms of being more active and less sedentary. The diet thing though, that's a bigger mountain for me to struggle with, and I've relented to try meal prep services for a short time to get my body used to smaller portion sizes and curb my unhealthy, never-ending hunger. Hopefully it resets my body to only feel hungry when I am hungry, rather than when it's craving for sugar, which is all the time. And the second struggle I have is to continue through the hatred of what I'm doing, because before it becomes a part of you, you will hate it, even despise it. And if you're human, have tantrums about being forced to do it, even though it is completely self-imposed. And no one hears about it because you're cursing yourself in the inside for putting yourself through this, while others only see the hustle. And that's absolutely normal, because you're going against yourself, telling yourself, nope, we need to do better, and oppose every single unhealthy fiber in our being. Oppose being a couch potato and live our lives. It's going to take some adjustment, and going through that is a pain, but the benefits completely outweigh the risk and cost of not going through that change yesterday. This is the struggle I feel. I'm great at starting things, serial starter over here, but absolutely terrible at honing the skill, at continuing until mastery. That I've become someone who can do something or has done something, but my competence is completely questionable at best. I'm trying to change that, and it's hard. I have my why, but at the best of times, it doesn't drive me to choose to beat the familiarity of staying sedentary, of doom scrolling through YouTube and staying home when I reach this stage. What has worked for me though is figuring out, why do I feel inclined to avoid this activity? And the usual culprits are that I'm not getting what I want from what I'm doing, and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. Both of these must be true for me to climb through this hurdle, like I did with swimming. Each activity I do, I need to enjoy and should have its own purpose to satisfy, in addition to wanting to challenge myself, and that particular combination is what drives me. But if one of these falls away, it's hard for me to keep going. So at that point, I would need to reevaluate, because maybe it's time to try something different. Bursting that bubble, taking a step out of your comfort zone, is how and when we grow. And the more steps we take outside, the bigger our safe haven becomes. The more we see and experience what life actually has in store for us, what life actually has to offer, the more we live and conquer it.